Power was failing all over the region, but it was about to get worse because seawater and electricity are not a good mix.
What's going on? I don't know what's going on. It's the hurricane. What the hell is this?
In this one spectacular flash, a Con Edison substation blows up, cutting power to almost 1 million New York City homes. Local resident John Matauzzi captures the explosion on video.
I started walking down to the water. The flood was starting to come up. It was about 2 feet by then. This area right here was like a crazy wind tunnel. It felt like 100-mile-per-hour gusts. I mean, you had little girls that were like grabbing on the trees like this, holding on for their life. It got pretty dangerous over here because there was these metal sheets that must have weighed like 30 pounds that were just woof, 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 flipping through the air. And then all of a sudden, my camera just lit up. Then we get another huge flash, a blue blast. I mean, it looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. And everyone started screaming. Some were just kind of like, oh my God, you know, in that sort of apocalyptic sense that New Yorkers have been feeling. I mean, you felt it.
Yeah, just exploded.
When Manhattan went out, the New World Trade was actually one of the only things that was lit, so it looked really unreal. Because half of Brooklyn Bridge was out, all of Manhattan, and then this big tower was glowing. And eventually that went out. And throughout the night, you'd see these blue explosions in the distance. Which became extremely spooky. It looked like something out of, you know, Independence Day.
Nightfall. Superstorm Sandy sends millions of New Yorkers back to the dark ages. Communications are breaking down, and the emergency services are stretched to the limit. 911 is inundated with almost 20,000 calls an hour. That's about 300 calls a minute, 5 every second. With phone lines down, Sandy's victims turn in desperation to social media like Twitter. Hundreds of tweets per minute are now arriving at the New York Fire Department's headquarters. Social media manager Emily Rahimi is trying to help.
I would say about 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I started to see a lot more panicked tweets, which I've never experienced on Twitter before. There were a lot of people who were losing phone service, that were not able to get through to 911, who were tweeting in emergency calls. I was getting a sense of the panic definitely through the words that they were using, the speed in which they were tweeting. I would get